to this event, Avner Avraham. So a while ago, I was looking to try to find somebody of this ilk, somebody who used to work for the Mossad, somebody who could tell us of the life of a spy in Israel. And I contacted, Avner has an agency that supplies speakers, former Mossad agents, former Israeli generals. He has hundreds of different speakers. And I had a Zoom call with Avner and his son, Nof. I said to Avner, bottom line, Avner, I want you. I don't want anybody else. I just want you to come and join us. And there's a very particular reason why I wanted Avner, because his story and his expertise is particularly unique. And therefore, it really is a privilege and an honor to have a hero of the Jewish people joining us today. Avner has served in the Mossad for 28 years, serving with distinction the Jewish people, the state of Israel, and therefore we welcome him here tonight to share with us his story, his experiences, his journey, and all the fantastic knowledge that he has garnered over these years.
Hello, everybody. Good evening from Israel.
Good evening, Avner. Erev Tov. Good to see you.
Good to see you all.
You're looking very classy, very elegant.
Thank you, thank you. That's my normal day, With the COVID-19, I dress jacket most of the time.
Normally, when I speak to someone from Israel, from Eretz Yisrael, then I feel jealous. The mezeg avir, the weather there is hot. But now I think you have snow. Is that right?
Yes, not in my city. I live north of Tel Aviv, but it's cold. It's really cold, very cold now.
Wow, and thank you also for making time. I understand you just finished an event in Milwaukee, and now you're in the UK, all over, busy. And it's the nicest thing is to feel a little bit of Israel. With COVID, we can't travel. I feel a little bit the warmth from Eretz Israel, from when you're sitting here. It's nice.
Yes. It's I also miss London. I used to fly a lot and to visit and to lecture different places, different synagogues.
Amazing. Well, we're hoping to have you here post-COVID. Now, listen, I know everyone wants to hear about Eichmann, and we're going to get to Eichmann very soon, but your story starts a little bit before that. Rabbi Adam mentioned 28 years in the Mossad. Most of us, I don't know, most of us, myself, in the back of our mind, we have this little secret dream that maybe one day we'll get the phone call from, MI5 or the Mossad and have a chance to, experience something. Most of us only experience this through movies, but you are the man, you've been there and you've done that. Tell us a little bit, how did you get recruited? How did you start, working for the Mossad?
So it was, you have to add 4 years to the 28 years, because I was a young soldier. I was 19 years old. And one day they told me, we are going to send you to Lebanon. And, it was normal to send soldiers to Lebanon, but they told me you are going to fly by yourself. And you shouldn't come with any uniform or something related to Israel, no Hebrew, nothing. Even the small Tehillim that my mom gave me, I told her, this time I cannot take it with me. And I came to the Mossad headquarters in Tel Aviv. It was in Tel Aviv. And they took me with the bus, think about a bus with 4 Mossad agents and me, a young soldier with the jeans and T-shirt. And they took me to Haifa, in the north of Israel, and we flew with a small helicopter to Lebanon, and we landed north of Beirut, north of Beirut, in the beach. And think about darkness and few Mercedes coming in the dark, and someone give you a gun, and someone take you to the car, and your handbag, there is someone that responsible for all the handbags. And I found myself in the Mossad headquarters in Lebanon, and it was a very great time to spend with the Lebanese Secret Service. And after a month, I came back to Israel, and I continued my military service. I became officer. And 2 days after I finished my military service, Israel, we say I released from the army. Why released? Because it's like to release from something. And I started to work for the Mossad on, it was 1987. And when I reached the 50, I became 50 years old. I retired and I flew to New York for a very long vacation. But I must tell you that great things happened to me in London. For example, I met the most famous Hollywood producers in London, because it's in the middle between the state and Israel, and I made the great projects.
Wow.
Great agreement, yes, great jobs.
Wow. So you've been at the Mossad basically before I was born. I shouldn't really tell that to everyone, but I'm just noticing. Oh gosh, that is crazy. Adam.
Avner, so I think every person like yourself, every Mossad agent, we forget they're a husband, they're a son, they're a father. We forget that. We just think of them as being agents. How do you manage to have a family life when you are doing all these things that you do, being a part of Mossad? How do you manage that?
So let me tell you the answer. I'm divorced.
Oh no.
Yes. I want you to think about a Mossad agent that his cover is he's Egyptian, for example. It doesn't make sense that in Shabbat he don't make any meetings. And think about the Jewish holidays, okay? It doesn't make sense if you have a Mossad operation and you don't make Mossad operations during the Jewish holidays, okay? So I found myself sometimes spending a month in Europe, far away from the family. Sometimes 2 months far away from the family, okay? That's the problem. And maybe you ask me if I could change and change my life. No, I think it was great. I served my country. I served more than 10 years in more than 40 different countries all over the world. And yes, I have great 2 kids. I'm divorced, but I have my son is the CEO of our company. My daughter, she's a student. And I'm happy. I'm a young employee. I'm a young retired. My cover is to look young.
You're doing a good job, Avner. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
I think people would like to know. Can you tell us some of the examples of the out-of-the-box Mossad thinking methods? Some of the innovative things that the Mossad do. How do they think differently to other agencies around the world?
Okay, for example, when the Mossad smuggled the Ethiopian Jews from Sudan, some of them flew with the fake passports, with the refugees' passports. Okay, and the Mossad needed the special pen that the Sudanian use to write the names in the passports. So usually you think how you get this pen. Okay, maybe you send someone and try to get the same pen, but if you think in the opposite way, the Mossad bought 200 Parkers and they sent them with the agent to the officers in Sudan, and he gave them as a gift 200 Parkers and told them these Parkers are very, very unique. You need to use it for your passports, and no one can use the same. And it's very special, and you have to start use these pens from now on. And the Mossad got in this way the same pen. So we always think different.
I love that. I love that. Avner, I want to know, can you just tell us something, the scariest story that you've had, since you've joined in the Mossad? Tell us something scary.
If I tell you, I have to kill you, Aaron. No. Well, I think that I served in places that it was Muslims countries. I cannot really talk about it, but it was dangerous. It was dangerous, and but you know, the most scary moment for me was I was in a Muslim country, and I got how you say Ridat Adama, earth shock. You know, when the earth moves.
Earthquake.
Yes, and I was in I think in the last floor of 18 floors, and it was very, very scary because I felt the building is moving, and you feel it. It's not something small, and you know that you are in a primitive country, and you know that you can find yourself falling down with the building.
Scary. Gosh,
Yes.
I tell you, I'd rather you don't tell us the stuff you can't tell us because I don't want you chasing me.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll get to hear a little more. But I'll tell you, we're going to get to the point why everyone is here tonight. Now, we're this week is Purim, and it's quite hard to connect with Purim because we think, yeah, Haman, he wanted to kill all the Jewish people. I mean, nowadays we don't think there's anyone who's really gonna kill us, but you know, just 70-80 years ago there was a sick guy, you know, this Eichmann, and he drew up the plans for the final solution. And he wanted to, literally a modern day Haman, he wanted to kill all Jewish people. And you know, the capture of Eichmann is a fascinating story, and it's a real privilege to have you here with us tonight, someone who has, you know, a personal connection to the story. The you know, you're known as the ultimate authority. We asked around, who should we get to speak about Eichmann, and everyone's Avner Avraham. He is the man. I believe, I don't want to, you even have the passport used to smuggle him with you. Hopefully we'll get to see it soon, from Argentina to Israel. And I don't even know how you got involved with this because you're from Iraqi descent. So we'll have to hear. So I'm now going to hand over the reins to Avner Avraham. He's going to give us a 15-minute sort of TED talk with a slideshow presentation to tell us Eichmann's story in his words. Over to you, Avner.
Thank you very much. And let me share my screen. And can you see the presentation? Wait a minute. Can you see it? Can you see my presentation?
Yes, Avner, we can see clear. We see Eichmann.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a collector, and 10 years ago, I made a small exhibition in the Mossad headquarters about the capture of Eichmann. And one day, Prime Minister Netanyahu came and said, he saw the exhibit and said, I want you to come to the parliament with this exhibition. And I came to the parliament in Jerusalem. Then I moved to the Jewish Museum in Tel Aviv. And it became a very, very big 5,000 square feet spy exhibition about the capture and trial of Adolf Eichmann, the architect of the Holocaust. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story. It was a love story between Sylvia Hermann, a half Jewish and half Christian girl from Argentina. She grew up in a German family, and she decided one day to go to a German film festival, and she met Klaus Eichmann. And he told her, my name is Klaus Eichmann. Think about the family, the wife and the kids came to Argentina 2 years after Eichmann, and they used the name Eichmann. Here you can see a spy picture that the Mossad made, and in the right side you can see a spy suitcase with a small hole that's used for the camera. And this is the picture, this is a spy picture that the Mossad made for Klaus Eichmann. So one day, Klaus Eichmann, she started dating with Eichmann's son, and one day he came to visit her at home, and he met the father, Lothar Hermann. Now, Lothar Hermann was half Jewish and half Christian. He was a Holocaust survivor, and he found out that it's probably Eichmann's son, and he decided to send this information to Dr. Fritz Bauer, a Jewish prosecutor in Frankfurt. And Bauer decided not to share this information with anyone. He decided to send this information to the Israelis, of course, to the Mossad. But he also went to the archives, and he brought all the files that related to Eichmann. And the Mossad agent, the Holocaust survivor, Micha Maor, came to his office, to Fitzbauer office in Frankfurt by midnight, and he made a spy pictures of all the documents from Eichmann's file, including the picture and including a lot of information. For example, we can see March 21st. March 21st was Eichmann's wedding day or anniversary. And why it's so important? Because the Mossad knew that Eichmann is living far away from home, far away from the family. And they knew that he will come only in holidays, he will come in his anniversary, and they knew that maybe someone on March 21st will come with the flowers or with a gift, and they will see him walking to the house. This is the way, this is the small details that help you in a spy operation. The first Mossad agent that came, Ronnie, you can see here in this picture, he came to Argentina, and he came with this camera. And think about the young generation. When you show them this camera, they don't understand why we need to wait 1 week to develop the picture. What does it mean to develop pictures? And think about the Mossad agent coming to Argentina and he making spy pictures, and he need to go to a regular shop, a photo shop, to develop the picture. Two years ago, I met this lady that you can see here in the 87 years old, a Jewish lady from Miami, and she told me, I'm the owner of the Photoshop. I remember the Mossad agent came with his negative and I developed for him all the pictures, and I needed to escape from Argentina and to escape to Israel. Here you can see the isolated house, the small house in Garibaldi Street, and you see the original map from the operation. The Mossad, the first agent that came, he made a spy picture of the left ear of Eichmann. You can see here two pictures, and the Israeli police laboratories compare the shape of the ears from the SS file and from the spy pictures that Aroni made in Argentina, and they found out by the shape of the ear that this is the same person. I mean, look how primitive in 1960s the Mossad needed to walk to compare two pictures of the same person. And now I want you to look at the agents, 11 agents that came to Argentina, one of them a doctor. They came to capture Eichmann. And if you look at them, you can see the story of the Jewish people. Because we grew up in all over the world. For example, my parents grew up in Iraq. I'm Iraqi Jew, okay? I'm a dark skin, I speak Arabic. And if you look at these agents, you can see that they look like people from West Europe, for example. And they came with something very, very important. They came with languages. And remember, for us, languages are like weapons. So if you grew up in Vienna, you can speak German. So the Mossad can give you a fake German passport. And when you fly from Israel to Argentina, you don't fly to Germany, you don't fly to Vienna, you fly to Paris. And there is a funny story about one of the agents, Abraham, that grew up in Vienna, and he came with a fake German passport by himself to Argentina. And in the small hotel, he booked for himself a room in a small hotel, and he saw a German guy in the reception, and the German guy told him, "Oh, I see you are, of course, in German. I see you are from Deutschland." "Yes." "Can you tell me from where you came, which village?" So he gave him a name of a very small village in Germany, and the guy in the reception told him, "Come on, I'm from there." So think about the Mossad agent. He needs to think what will be the answer, and he told him, "Look, it was a love story. She broke my heart, so please don't mention this village anymore." In my exhibition, now it's in the States, but we are going to move to Munich, you will see the original stuff from the operation. This is the credibility of the story. This is the official Mossad exhibit, and you can see the original tickets, and try to explain to the young generation. We have a mission to talk to the young generation, try to explain why we need a flight tickets that looks like this. We have a rare picture from one of the Mossad agents landing in Argentina. And they started to follow Eichmann, and they saw that there is someone, Ricardo Clement. He's coming every day using bus line number 2 or 3, and he's coming every day at 7:30 p.m. And they decided to wait for him and to capture him near the bus station. You can see one of the pictures that one of the cars that use for the operation. Almost every week I got information and new information from all over the world. So I got a few years ago this picture from a family in Argentina, that from the Jewish community that helped the Mossad. So they found a routine. When they found a routine, they knew that they will capture him. And it was on May 11 when they captured him. They took him to a safe house, and they start to ask him general questions about, for example, what is the size of your shoes and what is the color of your eyes. And suddenly they told him, of course in German, what is your SS number? And he said 453226. He gave the right number. He made the mistake, and he gave the right number. And they say, yes, I'm Adolf Eichmann. I would like a glass of wine. This is a great story. In the right side, the two pictures that you see in the right side, this is the double. It's the same person that flew from Israel with El Al. He came as a El Al navigator, but he was the double of Eichmann. Now think about him. He's landing in Argentina. He entered together with all the El Al crew to Argentina. He got the stamp in his passport. And the Mossad agents waiting for him in the hotel and told him, we want you to undress immediately, give us the uniform, give us your passport. They took the passport, they replaced the picture, and they put the picture of Eichmann instead of the picture of the double. And Eichmann, they smuggled Eichmann to Israel back 2 days after as Ze'ev Zichroni, the same navigator. But people ask me what happened with the navigator, what happened with him, because he was there without, almost naked and without passports. Now the funny thing is that I always say that after 1 month the Mossad sent another agent and he replaced him, and until today we have someone that's flying every month to Argentina. This is the international airport in Buenos Aires, and here we have a picture of Eichmann, a very rare picture of him on the way to Israel. By the way, the Britannia plane used by El Al in this operation, okay? And we can see the needle that the Mossad used to drug him. A doctor took part in the operation, and he drugged him a little bit because they thought that when they are coming to the airport, he can scream, for example. Ben Gurion made his announcement on May 23rd that Eichmann is in Israel. Now, I want you to think about the young generation in Israel. I'm coming to a school and I'm talking about the capture of Eichmann, and I told them, the chief of Mossad came to Ben Gurion, and one of the kids asked me, when you say Ben Gurion, do you mean Ben Gurion Airport? I said, no, Ben Gurion Prime Minister. Okay, we had a prime minister named Ben Gurion before the airport. A year after, actually 60 years, exactly, it's now 60 years anniversary of the trial. On April 1961, the famous trial, the opening of the famous trial, you can see the glass booth on the left side, and you can see, by the way, the two policemen together with Eichmann, Iraqi Jews, Moroccan Jews, people that don't have policemen, that don't have any direct connection to the Holocaust. A little bit about the movie. If you go on Netflix, you will see the movie about Operation Finale. But this is not Arabic. This is from Tehran, from Iran. The biggest Haman, the biggest enemy of Israel today. And people that going to see this movie in Iran is not because the Holocaust. It's because the Mossad. They want to learn and they want to see the Mossad agents and to learn about the Mossad. But then they see this. And when they see this, when they see the final solution and when they see how the Nazi killed the Jews, they learn a little bit. They learn a little bit. And maybe in our mission, never again, maybe it will be part of our mission to teach also the Iranian what happened in the Holocaust. Here we see Chris Weitz, the director, on set. There is a scene in the movie that Eichmann's wife coming to meet him in Israel. It's a true story. She came 2 months before the hanging, and it's part of the movie. And here you can see me playing cameo in the movie. The soldier that in the right side is Matthew Orton. He's from London. He's a great British scriptwriter. And I'm playing cards with the old-fashioned brown, ugly suit. In the middle, you can see it's Peter Malkin. It's Oscar Isaac playing the one that captured Eichmann. And this is the coin that we made for this 60 years anniversary of the capture of Eichmann. And you can see the small details. For example, you can see the map and the house and the Britannia plan. And you can see the map. And you can see in the right side, the yellow Magen David or the yellow David Star became the blue in the state of Israel. And now we can go back.
Wow. I mean, so I realize I've also not just got a Mossad agent and an Eichmann expert, but also a movie star here.
Yes, yes. When I'm coming to London, we will. I can give you my autograph.
Okay, I look forward to it. Now, many members, Baruch Hashem, there's a lovely crowd following you tonight. And I have to say, it was amazing to listen to, you managed to fit the story in there to such a compact time with so much detail. It was really fascinating myself. And there's many members of the public who have been following, hundreds, I believe. And we have some of them who have sent in questions, and we have some who are coming into studio to ask you some questions. So I think who we got is Sophie first. Is Sophie here in studio?
Hi there.
Oh, hi, Sophie. Sophie's a good friend of Seed from here in Manchester already for some time. And Sophie, what would you like to ask Avner?
So it's a bit similar to what Adam asked at the beginning about how basically, so how do you switch off when you're working on a particular project? How do you deal with the emotional roller coaster of working so hard and then having to be yourself, should we say?
I mean, how I switch between identity, for example?
Yeah, how you deal with the emotional roller coaster of a project and then coming home and, watching TV and making a drink. How do you switch off?
Well, if you have good life in Israel, and I got good life in Israel, and then you fly as a different person with a lot of money, and part of the mission is to be a rich tourist. So you are a rich tourist, and you actually don't do anything. You just have to be a tourist and to see the place, okay, or to do something or to help someone. Think about James Bond, okay? James Bond is only one person, but there is hundreds of people around him and surround him. And I was like Q in the movie. I was the one that came with all the ideas and the small computers and teach the people and show them what to do and where to do. So to do it, you have to fly all over the world, and you have to take it with you. And think about airport. When you come to the airport, and you have things that you don't want to send with the suitcase, you have to fly with and try to go to the plane with the things. So we always used to make some test and go to the airport with funny things, and they always try to arrest us. The people didn't know that we are not agent. You are not allowed to say that you are agent. So you are coming as a regular to the airport, and the mission is to get inside, and sometimes they used to arrest us. I think that it's not so. I think it's very easy. It's very easy. The problem is that if you talk when you sleep, some people can talk. Some people talking during the sleep, and they can talk Hebrew. That's the problem. It's a true story, by the way.
Okay.
Sophie, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
I'm just curious also, Avner, coming off what Sophie's asking, no, are you not, you say it's so easy. Are you not afraid? When I get pulled over in the baggage and they say there's something suspicious in your case, I start thinking, gosh, has someone put something, how do you deal with, we all, I guess what's interesting is we all have problems in our lives, and we want coping tools, how to deal with them. You're someone who's dealt with high pressure situations. How do you deal with that?
So I think that you have to prepare yourself for different scenarios. For example, I can give you an example from my life. When I lived in hotel for a few days, you don't wake up in the same time. You don't go to the breakfast in the same time. You don't take a taxi driver that offer himself. Okay. You don't have any routine. That's the idea, because if you have a routine, people can follow you and they can do something to you. Now, so the idea is to have, for example, you have a car, you have a bus, you have a taxi, you have Uber. You can call someone to take you. You can walk. So you know all the options all the time, and you know how to escape. And you have a cover story.
The question is how to get out when it's bath time and bedtime. How to escape then? That's the.
And you have a cover story, and you have languages.
Wow, tools.
Okay.
Tools. Okay. Thank you. I just want to say thank you to Sophie. She's gone now, but thank you, Sophie, for your contribution. Adam, over to you.
And our next question, we welcome Damien onto screen if we can, please. Damien, welcome. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. What's your question to Avner, please?
Well, it's a unique opportunity, so I've got two questions, if you don't mind.
Two questions, all right.
Well, you asked me to ask, and I come up with two now. The first one was I watched the film. It's incredibly gripping, but I want to know. You will have spoken to the agents a number of times, I'm sure. How did they feel once they actually had him on the plane? And my second question is, I'm reading this book at the moment, and it's about 4 spies who are basically the first spies that Israel ever had, even before the state was formed. But they're not very well known, and I'm just wondering whether anything will be done to recognize their contribution as the first, as the forerunners of Mossad, before Mossad even existed.
Can you show me the book again?
Yeah.
Spies. Well, I don't know the book, but...
Okay, the 4 spies are Gamliel Cohen, Isaac Shoshan, Havakuk Cohen, and Yakuba Cohen. And they're all like you from the Arab world rather than...
Yes, that's we call it in Hebrew, Mistarevim. It's the people that grew up in Arab countries, and they could speak perfect Arabic, and they used to live in Arab states, okay, and to pray in a mosque, for example. Okay, think about the Jewish guy that need to remove his kippah and to go to the mosque and pray, and live in Damascus or live in Lebanon or live in Egypt. So by the way, one of them, I think Shushan, he just passed away 2 weeks ago. Yes.
So are they going to be recognized at, with statues or memorials, or, because their contribution was so significant at the dawn of the state?
Well, they are part of our history, but unfortunately, since I'm crazy about the spy history of Israel, so I know about them, but most of the people don't know about them, unfortunately. Okay, what was the first question?
It was about how did the agents feel once they had Eichmann actually on the plane?
Oh, I think that the big moment was when they asked him different questions, and then when he gave the right number of his SS number or a soldier number. I mean, you cannot give the right number if you are not Eichmann. So they knew that it's him. Okay. The problem was that they wasn't sure that this is really Eichmann. Maybe it's a small Nazi. Now, to make the Eichmann trial, I cannot say something good about Eichmann. The only good about him that he was a good example of a Nazi, because he was the architect and he got a connection to all the camps. He was in charge of the schedule, all the trains. Okay, so but the mission in the trial was to talk about the whole story, to write the story of the Holocaust, to talk about, for 14 different police officers, okay, took part in the special unit that we call Lishka 06 or Bureau 06. And this special unit that questioned Eichmann, they took the map of Europe and they divide the map to the 14 officers, and each one of them in this area needed to come with maps, documents, pictures, witnesses that agreed to come and talk. So the Eichmann trial wrote the first book of the Holocaust. That was the idea. And Ben Gurion, by the way, people you always ask me why the Mossad didn't try to get more and more Nazis. I can talk if you want a little bit about Mengele, but the idea was, Ben Gurion came with the idea that we are not going to kill all the Nazis or to make trials in Jerusalem all the time. We are going to make only one big trial to talk about the Holocaust, to talk to the second generation. The second generation didn't know about it, okay? You know what? Some of the Holocaust survivors didn't believe themselves, so they needed to listen to the trial to believe that it really happened, okay? That was the idea.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Damien. Thanks very much for that question. Thanks for coming on.
A bit cheeky to sneak in 2 questions, but we'll let that roll. Okay, so we have a text question that's come in here. I think we have time for a couple more text questions before we bring it to the last phase of this program. So the question is, how did the Eichmann trial change the life of Holocaust survivors in Israel at the time? That's from Dina Jacobson. How did it change their morale, the life in Israel in general?
Okay, so the Holocaust survivors, that most of them when they came to Israel, the neighbors didn't like them. They told them, "Why didn't you fight? How come you survived?" Okay, so they felt that they don't want to talk about it. They felt shame.
Wow.
And that's why they didn't talk about it. They became very close inside. They didn't talk with the kids. And
in a funny way, you're saying something so interesting. You're saying in a funny way, it was even harder for them that the whole thing got brought up again, in a way.
Yes, but after the trial, they came like heroes. We are heroes. We survived. We came to Israel. We have families. We have kids. We build a country. As we know, 3 years after the end of the war, 1948, we established the State of Israel.
Wow, 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 wow.
Okay, thank you so much. I've got one more question that came over from Facebook. This is the question here from Sorona. What are your regrets from the time you served in Mossad? And she says, as the granddaughter of the only Holocaust survivor in my family, I want to thank you all for your work and sacrifices. So what are your regrets, Avner, from the time you served in the Mossad? What do you regret? Good question. Good question.
It's so horrible. I mean, it's a lovely question. Difficult question.
Can you use another word or instead of regret?
What could you have done more of? What could you have done more of, maybe?
Oh,
Or if you felt young again and you're ready to go back, what would you want to do now?
Charata.
yeah. Let me think about it.
No, you could think.
No,
about
I think that I always, the problem with me is that I always do what I want to do. Okay, I always do what I want to do, and even if I have something that I don't like to do, and it was sometimes I was in a position that I didn't like my work, so I decided to make small exhibitions, and one day these small exhibitions became a museum. I was the chief of the museum. Okay, so sometimes I used to follow my heart. My problem is that if I don't like to do something, I'm not doing this. Okay, and I can tell you, until today, I don't like the school. I didn't like the school. I'm very creative. I couldn't sit in the class. I didn't like all the historic book without pictures. I like only books with pictures. Even today, it's very hard to me to read text, only if I must, okay? And I think that if you ask me, for example, about education, to speak 5 languages like me is more important than to learn other things in the school, okay? And to fly all over the world and to meet people. And so the answer is that I'm happy with everything that I done.
Good for you, Avner. Good for you.
Yeah, great. Good answer. No regrets. Okay, Avner, can you tell us a little bit about how did you get involved in the film Operation Finale? How did that come about? What was it like working with Ben Kingsley? We all want to know about that. And how open were they to your input? Did they take your input when you had things you wanted to tell them about how things should be accurate?
Oh, okay. We can talk about it a long weekend.
Yeah.
when I'm coming, but yes, it's the whole program. But first of all, I wanted to say Sir Ben Kingsley, okay, because he's not your personal friend. SBK.
You're right, 100%.
Okay. By the way, it was one of the things that they told us. Don't tell him Ben Kingsley. You have to tell SBK.
SBK. Okay.
Yes. Now, this is a really example how I use my spy tools in the everyday life. Okay. When I used to Google Operation Finale. Before the movie came, I used to Google Operation Finale, and Operation Finale it was my exhibition. Now I used to search only for pictures, not to search for text. So when you search for pictures and you see a new picture of me in interview, I knew that it's a new interview. And suddenly I saw the picture of Oscar Isaac, and I found out that Hollywood is going to make a movie. So I entered to the one of the newspaper in Hollywood, and I took the name of the journalist woman, and I found her, and I found her telephone, and I called her, and I told her, look, I'm a former Mossad agent. I'm the world expert in this story. I must be part of this, and I want you to forward my email to the producer, Fred Beggar, the one that made La La Land. Few hours after, I got email for him. Let's make a phone call. When you have a few people in the conference call. And then I told them, look, I'm planning to be in 2 weeks from now. I will be in Hollywood. By the way, it wasn't true. I will be in Hollywood. Maybe you want to meet there. He said, no, we can meet in London. Okay, let's meet in London. I will stop in London. I came to London. I met him. And he gave me the name of a cafe, a small cafe in London. And you know what? I came a day before just to make sure that I know the place, I know where is it, I know. And I came 1 hour before, the day after, and I was sitting in the spot that I can see the door, and I came with the suitcase. With, after 5 minutes, he told me, Avner, you don't have to show me anything else. We decided we want you in the movie.
They like you as much as I do.
I can imagine. We know why.
Well, let me give you an example. When we shot the scene that all the agents coming to Argentina in the movie, as I told you, the Mossad sends all the agents separately. If you think about it, it's a huge operation, and you have to think about all the small details. So you don't send the people together, okay? You don't have a discount for the group. You send every single agent in a different day, different airline, different hour. Okay, you agree with me?
Wow.
So in the movie, you see all the agents coming with the suitcases from the airport, and all of them got Air France tags, Air France stickers. I told the director, it doesn't make sense.
Crazy.
Well, he told me, yes, but it's too late. We cannot change it now. I said, look, let's go to eBay, because there is a crazy people that collect these stickers from the 50s. And he told me, but we don't have time to buy it. I told him, we don't need to buy it. We can print it out. And in the movie, you will see a different. And now there is another funny story about potatoes. Every day they used to ask me if I have a list of things that they want, that I need them to buy for me for tomorrow. So I told them, look, for tomorrow I need papers, and I need pencils, and I need this and this, and I need potatoes. So they thought that maybe it's a joke, and they didn't buy from me any potatoes. Now, you will see the potatoes, by the way, in the movie. The Mossad used potatoes to produce stamps, and now I will teach you how can you make a stamp with a potato. You take a potato, okay, and you cut it in the middle. Now you take the half potato and you take your passport and you put the half potato above the stamp. After a few seconds, you will see a copy of the stamp on the potato. Try it. And then you can copy it in a different place. Okay, it works. Believe me, it works. So in the movie, they use this old-fashioned technology in the movie. And by the way, the story that I told you about the double, okay, how the Mossad sent the double, and Eichmann used his identity to go to come back. I came with this idea, and I tried to change the script. And they told me there is no way to change the script. I said, okay, I don't want to change the script. I want to change the things that the camera will see, okay? The camera will see something else. So we got a scene that one of the agents making a fake signature in a passport. I said, okay, instead of a fake signature in a passport, he will replace the picture. He will put the real picture of the real agent, okay? He will take it out and will put the picture of Sir Ben Kingsley. And now talking about Sir Ben Kingsley.
Wow. Avner, so very important. I've just realized, because we need to close soon, we haven't yet seen the passport. We haven't seen Eichmann's passport.
Oh.
Okay, here we go.
First of all, this is a special development from my company. It's a suitcase, small suitcase.
Avner, of course you're going to get stopped at security if you have a suitcase like this.
Now, when I open it, I have a mobile vitrines. Okay.
Wow.
You see, it all comes from this. Let me show you. When I'm flying with this. It's a mobile exhibition. See?
Amazing.
It's a mobile exhibition, and here we can see a passport. This is, of course, a very high quality replica. Okay. The details. Everything is there.
Wow, wow.
See? Navigator, Vienna, 1906. Okay.
Wow.
This is the story of the exhibition. And let me mention this book, this Torah book. One day in my city, I found this holy book near the garbage. And of course, I decided to take it home and to give it to the synagogue. It's a Mishnayot. Now, a few months later, I got an email from Hollywood, and they told me, look, we have a scene in the courtroom, and we need a Torah book for the courtroom. So for the witnesses, okay, so they can swear to God with the Torah book. So I flew with this book, and I think you can see it in the movie also. And now it's a movie star here in my apartment.
Love it. With the
So
movie star, with the movie book, it fits together. Now, Avner, we have about 3 minutes till close, and I know you're not telling us the scary stories till next time when we be in person. You know, it'll be easier for you. L'chaim, l'chaim.
That's a whiskey, by the way, original. L'chaim, yes, and Happy Purim.
Talking of Purim, I was thinking maybe we can squeeze this in here. So I know you're not telling us the scary stories, but to finish, I know you have a special story about Entebbe, maybe a quick rundown, and then maybe you can close with some words of how it fits in maybe with Purim and finish off that way, if you could share with everyone.
Oh, so one of the passengers, by the way, there is a very strong connection to Manchester, to Entebbe, but when we make next time we will make a program about Entebbe.
Sounds like a plan.
But there is a great story about a young lawyer, Akiva Laxer, that he was in London on 1972. 1972 was the Olympic Games in Munich. Now he was in London, and a friend of him called him from Munich and told him, why don't you come to the Olympic Games? And he told him, look, I don't want to fly to Germany. He said, no, please come. We have all the Israeli team. And he flew to Munich, and he was witness to the terror attack, how they killed 11 of our Israeli, from our delegation. Now, he decided, he swore to God, he's a religious, he's a very religious, and he swore to God, he told me, I'm not allowed to swear to God, but I swear to God, I will not let the terrorists win. So 4 years after, on 76, he flew to Montreal, and he decided to fly from Paris, and he took the Air France plane that hijacked to Uganda, okay? And it was very funny because he was one of the only Haredic or Orthodox in the flight, and he didn't want to touch the elephant meat because the terrorists gave them, the locals gave them elephant meat to eat, and he didn't touch it. He was maybe the only one that didn't get any diarrhea, or he wasn't sick because he kept the kosher. And now on Tuesday, when they decided to separate between the Jews and non-Jews and Israelis and non-Israelis, and to send home all the foreigners, because the terrorists don't need to deal with the foreigners, so they called him and they told him, you are Israeli, you have to go to the second room, but we want to check your handbag. And they opened his handbag and they saw the tefillin. And they opened the tefillin and told him, is it a communication system? He said, yes, I communicate with my God every morning.
Wow.
So, okay, you can enter with this communication system. And he told me that every morning a long line of Israelis praying with his tefillin. And years after, he gave me the original tefillin to my exhibition. It was part of my exhibition, yes. And by the way, Clinton came to see this exhibit. Clinton from the state, and President of Israel, President of Uganda. Many people came to see the exhibit, and it was part of the story. But let's keep all the other small stories.
Yes. I agree. I love that. If they ask if the tefillin is a communication device, and he says it is, because yes, we know it is, and that's a really beautiful point to bring us to a close on. So
almost in a close. Gonna ask one more question.
Yes. Let's ask, for Purim, 3 pictures and 3 questions for Purim. Okay? 3 pictures, 3 questions.
I thought we were asking the questions, Avner.
Okay, I'm ready for questions.
Okay, well, I'm only going to ask you one. Just Purim is this Thursday night and Friday, and obviously one of the themes is miracles. So we were just thinking, in 28 years of service in the Mossad, Avner, you must have seen at least one miracle that you can share with us.
A miracle. I was in Arab country, and my wife was in a hospital, and my baby came out, and I couldn't find a flight to come, and I was far. And so it was a miracle to have your first son, and to be far away, because she delivered too early, and I think that's the miracle that I'm thinking about. But I remember, unfortunately, my mother and my father, both of them passed away, and I remember that my father used to tell me, everything that you touch became a gold. And I remember this every morning. And you know what? When you think about it, everything you touch became a gold. It helped you in your time. I can tell you that I grew up in what we said Masorati or traditional family, and I can tell you something, that today, first of all, in the COVID-19 days, I became a chef. I'm making food. I'm making chamin, I'm making rice, I'm making soup, I'm making everything. Chales, whatever. And I found out that the best way to do it is in traditional way. I have the plata, how you call it? The one that you use in shop.
Hot plate.
Hot plate, yes. The best food is when you make it with the hot plate.
Really?
Okay? I don't have microwave. I don't have machines. Everything I'm doing with the hands, and I use, let's say, in the primitive ways. Okay? And you know what? For me, to bake for the first time, it was a miracle. To see a bread coming from nothing, it was a miracle.
I think
that is a miracle, Avner. That is a miracle.
It's a miracle every day.
On behalf of everybody who is watching, and there's many viewers watching tonight, it's been fascinating. It's been engaging. It's been eye-opening, and we've seen your warmth, your sincerity, your passion. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for sharing with us tonight, for taking the time and the patience and the interest. And we sincerely hope, please God, when Corona is over, we'll welcome you over to England, Be'ezrat Hashem, see you in person and hear more about the fascinating work that you've done on behalf of the Jewish people. So we say thank you, Avner. It's been a real pleasure.
I'm going to come for a month. So 1 weekend in Aaron, 1 weekend Adam, okay, and Peretz, okay. Every weekend I will jump from place to place.
Avner, I think you have over hundreds of places. Everyone watching tonight, I'm sure, is happy to host you. So you've got lots of hosts when you come to the UK, please God. Bezrat Hashem.
Bezrat Hashem.
We should all see miracles in Yeshuat, especially with the current situation. Tada Rabah. Thank you, Avner. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Rabbi Adam, for that. Thank you, Rabbi Peretz, for producing the show. Have we got the flyer here? Because I have something very exciting to tell you before we leave this evening. And I will tell you about it very shortly. Well, I'll tell you right now, actually. So here we go. So everyone, we all struggle to make our Seder night different and special. Seder night is the most exciting night of the Jewish year. And it's, we're always looking for some way to bring it to life. Now this year, every year, Seeds do an excellent job, but this year we've really cracked it. This is a team effort. Everyone across the team has added their little snippet, their little creativity, their little nuance to make it special. Now, it's basically a beautiful board. It's actually a vinyl. I'll get in trouble for calling it a board. It's a vinyl that will sit on your table with beautiful new pictures, new illustrations of the story. And you'll work through the board as you go through the Seder night, starting from the slavery in Egypt, and then working through together with these two lovely, a young boy and a young girl, Benny and Bella, all the way from our slavery to freedom. And it's full of exciting ideas and challenges and activities for the family. Now, I will say it is a limited edition. There is a limited number of them. So when they sell out, they will sell out. Even though the product isn't here yet, you can already order it now and make sure to save yours. So I would advise every single one of you tonight to take note of that link over there. It's seeds.uk.net/Seder Adventure, and bring that spark of excitement to your Seder night this Pesach. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Rabbi Adam to close the evening. Thank you everyone for watching. It's your viewership that makes the evening special. And I thought he was a fascinating guy. What do you say, Rabbi Adam?
Exceeded all expectations. It's been a great night. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Rabbi Aaron. Thank you, Rabbi Peretz. And of course, thank you to Avner. And hopefully we'll do this again soon. Thank you, everybody. And have a good night and have a good Purim.
Thank you. Thank you.